So BTC is floating around 95K. We've seen the alts are under all sorts of pressure at the moment, and we did have a sell-off on those CPI results. So pretty messy out there at the moment, the CPI shock. I think it's, to be fair, everyone was a little bit shocked. Maybe they were expecting a couple of things, but I think it was a bit worse than what we were expecting. So guys, we got tons to talk about today. We're looking at BTC in detail. We're talking CPI. We're talking plans here on these altcoins. We're talking setups. I got so much happening here for you. Let's get right into it. And remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe, and I'm back on Banter Plus. Yesterday, you saw me on the main channel. So anybody who followed over from the main channel, welcome to Banter Plus. This is my home. If you like this type of content, you can find me here Monday to Friday. James is in the house, and he's got a little bit of things floating around for us. We're going to tap into his brain just now. And Chinkatron says, we're dumping harder than my cheeks can handle. Come on, bro. I'm wearing, you know what? It's so messy out there at the moment. I've got the bullish hat on, okay, in case we bounce, and I got the rinse shirt on, okay, to celebrate the absolute chop that went down a little bit earlier today. It's all going down at the moment. Maruk, I concur. That is the correct t-shirt. Now, look what has woken up today. Other than BNB, which we saw flying, we saw DOT moving as well. And look at Sonic, the uncool Phantom. It's like the dirty cousin of Phantom is now waking up. I still feel like not right trading Sonic just yet. So, you know, at some point I'll get a little bit more comfortable with it, but Sonic is an overperformer today. So that looks pretty good. Everything else, absolute dog show. I think some of those head shorts we looked at yesterday, 𝗬𝗢𝗟𝗏, and a lot of those others, they have all started dropping down, and that is obviously playing out nicely for anybody who was using that hedging strategy. So that is a nice, at least some consolation here. And we weren't, look, to be fair, I wasn't expecting a major CPI surprise, but let's see what they've done to BTC. And to be fair, I think there's argument to say it wasn't that bad. And now we can see Bitcoin is actually bouncing again. But in terms of what happened to the alts, I think the leverage traders weren't happy. It was a proper sell-off. We had the S&P dumping into major levels as well. And now you can see we are getting a little bit of a BTC bounce. So let's just recap where we were yesterday on the show. We were talking about a little dip to take out these wicks here, and we got that nice little push up into the CPI today. Now, we did note a lot of the altcoins pumped into CPI. The data came out. What typically happens is dump time. And look, the rule is, guys, pump into CPI, even if it's an hour before, look to sell. Dump into CPI, look to buy. That is the typical rule that you want to follow. And Rich Bitch 84, what was that comment there? She says it's not bad. Look, it wasn't that bad. Okay, I think it feels bad if you're more of a high leverage trader. The guys trading the smaller stuff, not really a problem, but you can see BTC on the 2 hour has started flipping bullish here. We do have some divergence in play. Look at that. We've got this divergence in play at the moment. And in terms of where we're holding, this was our 94K secondary level that we were looking at yesterday. So all we've done is come down, grab some liquidity there, and now we seem to be pushing higher. So what do you need to do now? I think your first step, if you are trading, you know, the smaller moves and you are trading high leverage, your first step is going to be watching 95K now today. You can see we've got quite a bullish candle here on the 2 hour. So watch 95K. If we close above that, then we can say there's a possible ride coming into this trend. So we'll keep our eyes on this one. If we start drifting higher, look out now. Then at 96,800, that is going to be a region of interest. That is going to be a trouble zone for us. And then higher up, guys, same problem, 99K. That is the big one for us. That thing has been tapped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Okay, 6 time lucky. Let me know in the chats. 6 time lucky, do we blow through, or 6 time do we short that area once again? We're gonna have to wait and see, but that is the game plan here, guys. Short-term levels, you've got 94K, 95K. Let's see if those things hold now during the course of the day. Upside, look at 96,800, look at 99K. That is that. And then in terms of my BTC short, again, no reason for me to close this thing at the moment. I'm just leaving it, okay? It must do what it needs to do there. And that 𝗬𝗎 head short is still in play. I have closed a few of the other short positions that we got yesterday, but all around it, I mean, to be fair, it's a little bit choppy. It was actually quite shitty for anybody who was loaded up on the longs. We did a couple of round trips there, but at least once again, those hedging short plays always absolute gold and helping these accounts on the way down. So that is that from that side of things. Let's look at a couple of things in the news, and Vivek tells the true Bitcoin story. And if you look at the WIF chart, which I'm going to show you today, and the Miro chart, you're actually not going to believe what you're looking at. But this is the true Bitcoin story. I'll buy a diversified stock portfolio that will outperform the market. And the guy on the right here, remember this guy, the silver medalist shooter. He says, I'll just buy Bitcoin every month. Super chilled. Okay. He's very relaxed. Okay. He's very relaxed with his strategy. And this was just too good to be true. I just loved this one. I had to share it with you. People who held ETH for the last 3 years, 1% up. Profit is profit, guys. Is that the spirit? Is that what we say? Is that how we defend ourselves, Jay? Profit is profit. 1% up.
It's something.
And I see Sailor Monkey says BNB just flipped Sol. Well, BNB is running into a danger zone. So we're going to talk about that shortly. Walter Bloomberg says, Powell, this was yesterday. Now, Powell was talking yesterday, and he was basically saying there were a couple of things that came out of his mouth. But one of the notable ones was he said he would use quantitative easing only when rates are at zero. Okay, so that was a big warning bell for the market. I don't think the market loved those comments because, I mean, you know, we were obviously expecting a little bit more from the QE front, a little bit more bullishness. And he was pretty straight up saying when rates are at zero, that is when they're going to look at using QE. So that wasn't a great sign or great start for the markets. But what has been a massive one for us was the CPI print that has been coming out. And I just love this from 𝗙𝗎𝗄 Capital. The inflation print will impact the financial futures of our great-grandchildren. It's the most important CPI print since last month's CPI print. Isn't it hilarious that us, the degen traders that watch the market every single day, we live for these events, but it's actually, in the big scheme of things, it's not such a big deal. It's a tiny little move, but we get caught up in our 1 hour candles there. And Chinkatron says at this point, we're all going to get rinsed. Bake is up 80%. Guys, I've got that Bake chart for you guys as well. So let's talk CPI. Why was this such a shock? Why did the market sell off there? So you can see CPI year on year on the right-hand side. This is Forex Factory. So you can go on the right-hand side there. You can see the previous was 2.9. Forecast was 2.9 and it came out at 3. Okay, so that is a miss. That is not great for the market. Then you can see the month on month. This was the problem one. We had previous at 0.4. They forecast 0.3 and it came out at 0.5. Okay, so the market was hating life there on that one. And that is why we did get that quite sharp dip and that sharp sell-off. Now, Ritika says, the good thing about a really bad CPI number is that it'll help us understand where the market is at the moment. If we are truly bearish, this is the perfect opportunity to break below 90K. If we shake this off and close green on the day, it would be a sign of bad news not having a major effect on the market. I actually love that comment, and that is something we are going to start looking at. I mean, I think that guy's got a very good point. And Walter Bloomberg, based on all of this, says traders now shift next Fed rate cut to December from September. So that, I mean, that's pretty bearish, James. I mean, we don't like the sound of that, do we? December? We got to wait 10 months?
I saw that immediate reaction going, oh, rate cuts are almost gone for the year. It's not a good look.
And I mean, at one point they were talking 2 or 3 cuts for 25.
Right.
Now they're talking
one cut at the end of the year.
Did somebody say Santa Rally? I think you just said Santarelli. Guys,
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Hopefully it's better than this past Santa Rally that didn't show up.
Guys, we're going to go long Bitcoin at 34K in November at the end of this year. We're going to ride that Santa Rally to 45K. Okay, remember this. Remember this comment. Remember this. And never mind, we'll be riding a Filecoin from zero because I'm showing you that chart as well. Absolute filth, that thing. Okay, let's talk the S&P. How has the S&P handled the news? So we had an immediate sell-off before the market opened, and we dropped straight into major support. 6,000, that is held once again. It's our 50-day MA. It's our 382. It's our daily levels, and I think to be expected a hard dump into those type of levels, you look for some kind of bounce. So S&P shaking it off so far. Let's see how high they can push this thing, but right now our support of 6,000 has held fairly well, so we can't be too upset with that. And then BTC is cruising. So let's talk BTC on the daily time frame, and I think there's argument again to say our 95 has held. If we close above this 95K, I think we can confidently say, I don't want to confidently say, but I think we can say the next target is going to be the 100K or the 99K region again. So that is what we want to see. We just want to close above this 95. Then maybe we can start grinding up tomorrow. Now, tomorrow is PPI. Okay, another major market mover, and that could obviously affect things as well. Now, we've seen before the double whammy when we get CPI and PPI, things go a little bit crazy. So PPI will obviously be a market mover tomorrow. Maybe we get some action. So that, I mean, for example, if it comes out quite bullish there for us, then I think the market absolutely rips on pure relief on this bad CPI news. So 99 to 100 is what we want to watch. LX says the cycle sucks. It's not the best cycle. Okay, let's call a spade a spade. It hasn't been the most fun cycle yet. Okay, but it is going to come back. Now, I think we've wrecked ourselves with all those 400,000 meme coins a day that are getting made on pump.fun. That isn't obviously helping things at the moment. And Ivan says another shit pants party tomorrow. Come on, bro. We'll bring that headline. We'll bring that headline. And so far, Capo is not incorrect. Just yet, he's still not incorrect. So we spoke about him yesterday, and we'll just monitor this at the moment. I think this guy gets a hard time for no reason. And obviously, I mean, there was a reason. Okay, he never flipped bullish when he should have. We get it. But I think he gets it right a fair amount of time. And look, it's quite extreme, 20 to 40% drop for altcoins. But I'll show you a few charts today, and I think it is possible. So we'll carry on watching what he has to say. But in the meantime, we know what we have to watch. As altcoin traders, we know what we need to watch. Number one is dominance, and that is always it's a big part for us. And you can see this is dominance on the daily. And look, still sitting on major daily support. So we cannot argue here, that dominance is definitely going to break down and these alts are going to start pumping. But when we do start getting daily closes under the 61% level, then I think we can start getting a little bit more excited about these altcoins. But right now, until then, we are on a support base. We are on a bounce zone for dominance, and it's not really a good position for alts to be in. We want dominance over there so that we can drift it lower. And every time we've seen dominance on support or on decent support, there does tend to be a bounce. Okay, so we are just looking out for that. That is obviously going to cause a few issues for the altcoins if we do get that bounce. So always, guys, one eye on that dominance chart, and then your next eye, you can cast it onto USDT dominance, obviously. But another one that I love to watch is the total 3. That is all the shit coins excluding Bitcoin and ETH. And you can see this chart. It's absolutely beautiful at the moment. We've dropped back down and we've retested, and now we are looking for a possible move back into the range. And then the question comes, do we get rejected? Do they send us to hell? Or are we going to start finding support above that 900 billion region? So we're going to have to track this as we go. We're going to watch a trend. And when we start breaking these types of levels, we're going to start paying close attention. But right now, in terms of what we're looking at, in terms of a simple chart that we're looking at, that is actually not the most bullish setup I've ever seen. Okay, so if we flip the chart over, and we looked at it this way, we would say to ourselves, okay, we've had a nice break of horizontal. Let's start looking for longs, okay, somewhere in that region, and we'd look for some kind of pump. So in terms of the chart that I'm looking at, it's not looking the best. It's not looking the most exciting, but anything can change. If we can break back into these levels, hold above that 900 billion, then we can maybe start changing our mind as to where we are going to go with some of these altcoins. But right now, again, not max aping time. It's still chill time. And this might be the one that comes and saves us. Now, this is naive meme. He says FTX will start repaying 98% of users at 20K BTC. Now we know that is happening in 5 days, James, 6 days. It's around the corner. Okay, so people are about to start getting some payouts from FTX. And the good news for anyone who has ETH, it says if you have 1 ETH at FTX, then you still get 2,500. Wonderful. Okay, it's the same price as it was in 2022. So excellent hodl diamond hands there. But guys, remember, the big ones, the big boys are buying ETH. And let's not forget, World Liberty is buying tons of this. BlackRock is buying tons of this. We know that it seems to be coded somewhere, okay, that at some point this thing is going to rip. When their bags are full, they're going to send this and make themselves a gazillion. So here is the biggest US bank, Goldman Sachs. And they bought 450 million in their ETH ETF. So that is looking nice and bullish on that side. And I just wanted to share this one with you because I absolutely love this. Your wife and family do not know your entire savings is in this man's hands. Let's just see who is in control of ETH at the moment.
With that in mind, what's your favorite pickup line?
What? Yes, I am Satoshi Nakamoto. No.
Okay, so with that said and done, okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at our favorite non-performer. Is ETH the new XRP? Okay, am I going to be apologizing at some point to ETH holders? I will have to wait and see. But ETH on the 5-day, yes, sir.
Man, how's that BTC short doing? I just got stopped. How about you?
What do you mean?
It's ripping.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We're moving up.
I mean, oh, fuck me. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. Okay,
Good
we're
news.
still in the green. We're still in the green. Okay, Ondo's waking up again. Sui's waking up again. Okay, that's fine. That's
Yep.
fine. That's fine.
Everything's
Okay.
waking up.
We keep riding. Okay, so guys, just quickly on ETH. I don't want to harp too long about this thing. Here's the 5-day. You know the drill. If you've been watching the show from me, there's two options right now: 282921. That's it. That's all you need to worry about in terms of spot trading and the margin traders. Now, degen traders, these are your ETH levels, okay? And you guys know that I've started an ETH position. I'm trying to build an ETH position at the moment, and my strategy is to accumulate ETH on all of these levels to the downside, hopefully build a nice size if we carry on drifting lower, and then we can start enjoying the fruits of it when we start pushing to the upside. Okay, so that is my strategy there in terms of ETH. No changes to that. I'm riding this ETH position currently. There it is in WEX. Is still a bit red, but I've added a little bit to it there. And AI16Z, what did I tell you guys earlier? Okay, so AI16Z, that thing is starting to move now. That was a trade I was looking at in Hackers about an hour ago, hour and a half ago, and it's dropped, and now it's starting to pump. And now I've got that FOMO where I didn't buy enough. Okay, so it's quite irritating. We're going to talk about that in a second. So in terms of ETH, what are you watching today? 2.6. Where's your next buy zone? 2.5. Where's your next buy zone? 2.4. That is my strategy. I'm buying tons of ETH if we do go lower. Okay, so looking for that. And Yumi says, looks like everyone is waking up the way we like it. Okay, and let's talk BNB. So this is a pumper. And obviously we've seen Sol is underperforming. ETH is underperforming, but what is waking up here? BNB. So guys, I just want to bring this one to your attention. We did touch on this one yesterday. No, 2 days ago, where we were looking at this thing above the 200-day MA, and we were saying this thing needs to close above the 200-day MA if it's going to turn bullish, and that is exactly what it did. When was this? On Monday. So now this thing is absolutely firing. Anybody trading BNB now, if you're sitting in a BNB long, I just want to bring this to your attention. 680 is a hot zone, is a danger zone. There's a lot going on in this area. Okay, so I would be careful up here. Okay, so be careful up here with fresh longs. If you're already riding it and you're feeling confident that this thing blows straight through, that's cool. But right now, in terms of resistance, danger, 680. That's a problem for me. Trend, 50-day MA, 618. Horizontals, you've probably got a shit ton of order blocks here as well in that area. So just look out there on BNB, not looking great from 680. Where's your next move? Well, anyone that's missed this BNB trade, what you need to do, or what I suggest you do, is let this thing break through, okay, if you want to be long. Then we're going to test the type of support we're going to get here. Then we can find some kind of trade for you guys. Okay, so that is what we're going to be watching on BNB. Let it break through the 680 level. Let's find support above the 50-day moving average. Then we can start looking at things. So don't panic. Don't see a green candle and panic buy now. Okay, right now we got to get through the 50-day MA. But in terms of the daily, nice and bullish on BNB. So I think this thing can actually grind a little bit higher. Just be careful here because this is a typical area where you can get some kind of rejection or consolidation. So it depends on your trading strategy. If you're chasing a scalp, for example, this is now a resistance zone. So just play safe there. And let's see, Jan Willem says super is ripping. Guys, that's pretty bullish. If the market's absolutely taking off now, that is pretty bullish. Now, here's another one that's actually really looking super fucking bullish here. This is baked. Okay, Bake USDT. And look at this reversal print here on the 5-day chart. So that is looking super bullish for us as well. What do I like about this in terms of the 5-day? Well, you can see it's broken the 50, it's broken the 200-day, and it's broken the 100-day. So all you're looking for now is a close above that type of region. Then I would say that this thing turns into a similar move to what you're seeing on BNB, and then this thing can start grinding higher. So ultimately, you just want to see a candle close above, say 26. Let's actually go into the daily here. You want to see it close above this 26 region. If you can get that working out for you, then I suspect you're going to get a bigger move here. So let's see if we can get this close in that type of region. Then I think this thing is going to fly, and there are going to be higher targets. Your targets are going to be things like 36, things like 45. Those are your potential targets there on baked. Okay, so look out for that. I like the way this thing is waking up there, and these memes are also starting to wake up there as well on BNB. So things are certainly getting interesting. Okay, remember what happened to the Tron network? Everything started ripping for a week or two. It couldn't actually stop. Now remember, guys, all these charts that you see on the show go straight into Chart Hackers for you, and you can take a look at them at your leisure. They'll be there for you guys. Now, let's talk a couple of trades here. AI16Z, this was a hacker's trade from a little bit earlier today. ETH's doing its thing. Tower, I'm still holding the short. I don't have a reason to close that short just yet. And looking for a little bit more upside on ETH and AR16Z, obviously. Now, I'm trading these on 𝗬𝗥 at the moment. There's no KYC here. If you're interested in trading on 𝗬𝗥 with me, you just go into the show description. There it is. Click on more, and you can find 𝗬𝗥 there and sign up with those guys. Okay, let's go. And I wanted to discuss this with you. It's a problem. Okay. Yes, sir.
Everyone's screaming in the chat their cock is rising. 40% candle.
Bullish AVAX.
Is AVAX going up? Yeah, it must be.
Okay, let us know about AVAX there in the chats, guys. Okay, it's nice things are waking up. Let's talk Sol quickly. This bothered me yesterday, and let's not lose sight of. Okay, if we're getting a short-term pump in the market, that's cool. Let's not lose sight of bigger picture things. Let's not let one candle get us too excited. If we get 2 or 3 candles, then we can start saying, okay, you know, maybe the market sentiment is shifting. But right now, let's be cautious of what we're doing. I showed you guys this chart yesterday. Ben Cowan super bearish on Sol versus Bitcoin. Okay, and it actually bothered me. It bothered me. I thought about this a lot yesterday. Okay, here's his prediction for Sol versus BTC, and I thought it's not a good look. And then I saw Miles posting earlier that lots of big unlocks over the next 180 days. Notable ones are Sol, Sui, Celestia, and Aptos. Look at the Sol unlock. James, did you get some of that info there? But over the next 180 days, it's looking like $2 billion worth of Sol unlocks. Okay, and I mean, look, 180 days is 6 months. It's a long period, but there is a little bit of pressure. Did you check those? Did you check those amounts?
I just saw what was in the research group there, and yeah, it's. I know Matt was talking about that too, saying that there was a bunch of big Sol unlocks coming, so that may be part of it. And of course, that means the memes are going to struggle. If Sol's not going, then memes are going to be hurt.
So there's a couple of factors here with Sol. Okay, so you can see if AVAX is pumping, we're going to open up the Sol chart now. We're going to see what is going on. But in terms of bearish things for Sol, well, let's start with the positives. Okay, positive one, we've held our first zone, which was our low from the other day. So that 187 that has held. So anybody who's been watching the last couple of days, I've been eyeing these levels here, the 200-day MA and that region just above. So it was 187, 183, 174, 168. These are all reaction zones. One of them, could be a bottom of a big move. One of them, they might blow through. But typically, what you want to watch are these reaction zones that I give you. Okay, so 187, 183, 174. Those are your big levels on Sol. If this thing turns bullish again, well, it's got a lot of work to do. Okay, for me, this thing has got to break through that type of level. We got to get through that 50-day moving average. Step 1, 211. Let's break through that. Let's get above 220. Let's start reclaiming those levels. Until we get above those types of levels, we can't be like turbo bullish on Sol. And then obviously we've got this in the back of our minds as well, which is quite irritating. And what I want to show you then is after I saw that tweet, now whenever I look at Sol, I see something that bothers me. I see this head and shoulders formation. James, I don't want to freak you out, but look at that. If we pump into that right shoulder, suddenly this thing starts looking relatively bearish. Okay, so I just want to sprinkle this here, not to freak anybody out, but in terms of targets here, let's see what happens at 220 if we do push there. Let's see what happens just above that. If we don't start breaking above that pretty soon, there's going to be shouts all over the interwebs about a head and shoulders on Sol, and they're going to send this down. What does PMG George say about BNX? Is that dumping or pumping?
I don't know. The thing seems to always just go up, no matter what the market's doing. That thing's insane.
Will you check that BNX chart for me quickly?
I'll take a look.
Will you see it? Let me know. Okay, so guys, BNX, manipulation. Okay, Crypto Bullet is talking about Sui. Now, I'm covering Aptos, I'm covering Sol, which I've just done, and I'm covering some Sui. So let's look at this. Crypto Bullet is looking at Sui versus Bitcoin. Now, we've seen Sol versus Bitcoin sitting on support. We understand that, and this guy is showing showing 𝗬𝗎 versus Bitcoin sitting on trend support. So interesting viewpoint here from his perspective. And then I thought, let's just take a look at the daily again. And, anybody sitting in that 𝗬𝗎 short from yesterday, if you've closed it, you've closed it. You've had a 14% dump from the highs yesterday. And if you are sitting in it as a hedge, well, like me, I mean, I've got no reason to close that thing just yet. When we reclaim those levels, then I'm going to say, okay, let me start cutting the 𝗬𝗎 thing, maybe start pressing on my 𝗬𝗎 long, maybe add to that position and start growing that size. So 3.52, guys, that's the line in the sand for me on 𝗬𝗎. Let's break 3.52. Until then, bearish, okay? Until then, I don't see a reason to exit my short position, and unless something is going to amazingly change. And then with regards to the daily, nice, okay? Very nice. That looks good. Bullish divergence turning higher. So in terms of the long, again, no reason to close that long, and that daily is leaning bullish for this long to actually start ripping now. So we got a $31,800 position here. If we break that level, we adding to this position. I want to grow the size. Let's see if we can get something big going on 𝗬𝗎. Okay, so that is the game plan there with regards to that. And BTC, my stop for that short is I'm going to have to move it higher because we actually want it above that 99K level. Okay, so we'll have to deal with that one just now. But remember, the big level on Bitcoin, guys, 99K is what you're going to be watching. Okay, so 𝗬𝗎, you've got it. Downside support, 2.83 and 2.65. Watch those levels, 2.83, 2.65. Look out for a fake out and then a sell-off above that 3.52. That is a game plan then on 𝗬𝗎. Now let's talk Aptos. And look, I don't know. It's hard to say that we're going to get some kind of range play like we've seen before. It's hard to be this or have this much hopium on Aptos. Okay, I think 300% could be a little bit far-fetched. But what I do think can happen with Aptos is 68%. I do believe 84% is not unreasonable, and I do believe 110% is not unreasonable on Aptos. But how do we get there? This is Aptos on the weekly, and I just want to show you guys in terms of support. This is a massive, massive band that it hit at 5. And I would say if you are holding spot bags, if you're a spot bag trader, I would say, I don't want to say it's safe to assume the lows are in, but in terms of weekly levels, okay, this is a big one for us. And if you do get that drift down, those are buy zones for me. And there's a possible easy spot trade here to ride this thing up to at least that 50-day MA at around about 8. You can maybe take it higher to 8.8 even. So there is something going on here with Aptos. And I think at some point there is a snapback bounce. And you can see it won't be a surprise if there's a bounce. Look how this coin has behaved over the weeks. Look at these weekly charts. Look at these moves here. So even if we get that, it could be something here for us. And remember, if Aptos is pumping into those types of levels, the whole market is going to start ripping. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of action there if we do get that out of Aptos. And then in terms of our oscillator, the weekly is bottoming out, but it's not turning just yet. So, don't shoot the full shot. Don't open 20x max leverage. Be careful here. This could be a slow grinder, but it looks like an easy 60 to 80% there potentially on Aptos if we do get a little bit of traction. Now, Injective, I owe you guys Injective. Who keeps asking for Injectives in the chats? Because I owe you an apologies, because every time I said I'm bringing Injective, I keep forgetting, bro. So this was Injective is for you. Can you remember the guy's name, James? You always ask so nicely for Injective. Well, here it is. Now, Injective has got a new era of finance, introducing TradFi Stocks Index. Major companies in their index include Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Goldman Sachs, and hundreds more. There's a full list available here for what they are getting involved in. James, TLDR on what is going on here. What is this product?
Yeah, well, that's the ticker there. TradFi is the actual token, and you're able to trade it on Helix, which is a DEX on Injective. That's why this has to do with Injective, right? It's an Injective DEX. And it's actually, that index has 505 different stocks in it. You can trade it 24/7. You don't need a broker, right? It's letting crypto bros get into traditional finance without having to mess with all of the traditional finance garbage.
And we're trading stocks on Helix. It's an index.
Yep.
And cool. Okay, guys, that's quite a cool product. Okay, we saw Ondo is released that as well. What do they call it? Their global markets. Interesting.
It's the beginning of tokenization of real-world assets, right? This is the tokenization of stocks here. And because if you don't know how to trade stocks and everything, and brokerages and all that stuff, and residency problems too sometimes, that you can.
Very cool.
This gets around to all of it, and is 24/7. So
Okay, very cool. Thank you, James. You see, he's quite smart, this guy. He does his work. He's smart. Okay, so guys, Injective, whoever's been asking for Injective, I think it's to be fair, and I've said to be fair a lot today, and that's also irritating, so apologies. But Injective has been a slow mover. It hasn't been something that is super exciting to watch. Okay, so it hasn't been on my radar because it's just not really doing anything. But in terms of Injective on the 5-day chart, I want to show you something. So number one, this thing actually looks bearish. If this was a regular 15-minute time frame chart, we saw the loss of the trend. What happens here? We dump, we pump back into trend, and then we reject again. So in terms of Injective, it's actually looking bearish on the 5-day. This could take a lot of time to play out. Look out for that. So the next big pump out of Injective, I would say danger zone ahead 17, danger zone ahead 20. Look out for those zones. Any pushes into those areas, that could be big selling zones for you guys. And then, we'll look for those shorts there. We'll deal with it because if we get there, the market's going to be euphoric. And if we get to those levels, Chart Hackers is going to get the shorts. Okay, it's as simple as that. When the market's too euphoric, we'll be shorting that shit. Okay, so everyone's going to be longing it. That's fine. We'll be shorting it in Chart Hackers. And when we get to those levels, that is what we're going to be looking at. So 17 and 20, look out in those areas. And then in terms of big support for Injective, 12.2 is what you're going to be watching. That's your low, that's your wick fill. And if there's an extreme sell-off, Injective traders, 10. Okay, I would expect a bounce at 10. I would be very surprised if there is no bounce at 10. That's quite a big level there. And in terms of the 5-day, by then we'll see this thing turning over. We will see the reset there. Okay, so Rick says the shorts get wrecked. Yeah, I mean, anyone who late shorted is going to get their shorts wrecked. And Thomas, what's happening?
Treat the like button like Michael Jackson. Just beat it.
Where's my bullhorn for Thomas? There he is. Okay, there he is. Guys, Thomas invented the bullhorn. This is his. He made that for me. He's an absolute VIP. And Matty says, what does Euphoria look like? Matty, you'll know, okay, because I'll tell you we're shorting, okay? Just be patient. It's coming, okay? You'll know. Okay, let's move on. So the race for AI mindshare is heating up. ARK is taking the lead, then Virtual, which we traded already this week, and now AI16Z. Look at that, coming third at the moment. Let's see what is going on now. Okay, so nice little banger, little VWAP in play here on AI16Z. So there was a couple of things going on in terms of degen plays, and you might still get the main entry. Okay, so things are getting a little bit interesting here. So AI16Z, you can see what I've done. I've opened the 2-hour chart, and what I said earlier today in Hackers, we had 2 levels of interest. Now, typically what you like to do if you are trying to scalp some of these entries, you're looking at 2 main zones, and your main zones, you want to get your support zones like that, for example, to tie in with a reversing oscillator. And when you see your oscillator reversing on a major level, that is normally when you start looking to take on risk. Now, the higher the time frame, obviously the stronger the move. You can see the 2-hour is not happening at the moment. And what is this headline about Trump ending the war? James, will you let me know if you can fiddle around there? What you want to look for is reversals on 15 minutes. You want to look for reversals on 1 hour. Look at that. There's our reversal print. There's our divergence. So when you see these types of things happening on these hot zones, that gives you extra confluence that a move is potentially coming. Okay, it's telling you that there's a potential bounce play around the corner. So you can see AI16Z has bounced off a VWAP. So it's actually bounced a little bit early, but a VWAP is a banger. So 4240, that's our VWAP from the lows there, 4240, and we've had a rocket ship off that VWAP. Then a little bit lower down, you can see 402. That is my banger zone as well. And that should give me a reset on the 2-hour. So if there is another dip in the market, look for this 2-hour to be reset at the lows. And that should give you 0.402. Now, in terms of existing support, you're going to use the candle low. So anybody sitting in this already, you can see that beautiful VWAP. And yes, sir?
Yeah, Trump's announced that he and Putin have agreed to respective terms, and they're starting negotiations immediately. So that's maybe what this pump is about. So I was going, where did this pump come from after this bad news? It looks like, yeah, he's starting the Ukraine-Russia war online.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's where this pump came from, because it doesn't make sense pumping like this after that shit CPI.
I'm sure I saw a comment the other day where Trump said Ukraine might be part of Russia soon.
Well, I did see that. Yeah. I don't know if that was real or not, but yeah.
It might have been fake. Okay, it might have been fake. So don't quote me on
fake news.
Fake news. Okay. Okay, guys. So just finishing AI16Z. We've spoken about the AI agents coming back again. We've traded virtual already. That was a big mover. Now we've got AI16Z on our radar. I gave you guys this entry yesterday. We were sitting up there somewhere. We looked at a 236. And other than that, it was these two levels that we were looking at. Okay, so now we are midway on our VWAP here, and we are looking for this reversal. So in terms of AI16Z support, anyone trading this 423, that is going to be your main support you want to use. And then in terms of your next bang along, 402. Now, what do you do with AI16Z if it keeps on pumping? Where do you take profit? What is your plan? So I think keep it super simple. I think look for the VWAP from your highs, from your local high there. Let's see what they are giving us. Let's see if we get a decent rejection area here. And yeah, okay, respecting it quite nicely. So I would say look out at 505 for a possible rejection there in terms of AI16Z. So that would be a fair reaction zone there to the upside. And then after that, look, if you start reclaiming those types of things, you are just going to try and take out that wick to the upside there. So 60 to 62 is going to be your next target. So if you blow this VWAP here, look out then in that type of region, you might get a rejection up there. Okay, so that is that then on AI16Z. And then guys, I've got a cool announcement here. And this is exclusive to anybody who watches my show or anybody in Chart Hackers. There's a competition for 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 that has been put together for my community. It's only for people that are watching me or sitting in Chart Hackers. So there's an offer at the moment. You can go to our Chart Hackers Twitter account. So go to @the Chart Hackers, and there's information on the trading competition. It's starting on the 17th of February. So that's in 5 days time. So you got time. What you need to do is go and sign up to the link in the show description, or if you're smart enough, you can go to the Chart Hackers. Just make sure you're following it on Twitter, and you can sign up using the link there. There might be something else for you guys in there. But in terms of the competition, first prize, $2,000. Second prize, $1,000. Third prize, $500. And you know what? You only need to put in $50, okay? Put in $50. If you get your trading volume up over the 10 days of the competition, and you get that trading volume above $10,000, which is actually not a lot, okay, in terms of opening a few trades, then you're eligible for the prizes. 2,000 first prize, second prize 1,000, third prize 500. Okay, so go join us, sign up to Chart Hackers. Sign up to 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, and you can do it a couple of ways. You can either go into the show description, and you can click on the link there. There's a 50% deposit or deposit bonus for you guys for 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, and you'll also get a 10% discount to join Chart Hackers. So that is one of the ways that you can do it. Or if you are already a member of Hackers, or if you are in Hackers, you can use the Hackers link within Hackers and get a 70% deposit bonus. Now, these deposits bonuses get paid every Friday. So if you sign up today or tomorrow, you will receive your deposit bonus on Friday. So make sure you sign up before Friday, and then you can get your deposit bonus. So if you put in on this specific link on the Twitter account, if you put in $1,000, you're going to get a 70% deposit bonus. You do the maths on that, okay? It's a lot of USD. Okay, NZ Danny says, banger. And guys, I got a shirt coming that says banger. It's around the corner. Ooh, look at this banger. Okay, there goes Cass. And we're alive again. We're alive again. And this is Cass on 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 that I'm trading at the moment. I took this earlier in Chart Hackers as well, and it dropped into my zone. Okay, it wasn't a big size, but I was nibbling in this region because it made sense to me that we were looking for longs in that area. Let me show you the Cass chart. And this was the chart that I dropped in Hackers earlier today. And basically, you know, you remember yesterday, if you watched the show, we had the short from the absolute highs, and then we were looking for the reversals off one of these areas. So I mapped it out, the two hot zones that I liked, and typically what you want to see is the oscillator reverse on the 1 hour, on the 15, on the 2 hour, and then you know things could be gearing up for a bounce. Okay, so that is exactly what I did, and now we've got a bounce here on CAS, and it's looking okay. So so far so good. Anybody trading CAS now at the moment? 0.0927, 0.0927. Okay, that is where it's at. Watch that as support, 0.0927. If that holds for you, we should have a little bit more action. Look at that. You get some kind of trend break there, and then you can start cooking. And Coin Smoker, I'm not against that argument, bro. Potential short squeeze. I like the sound of that. That could be fun, and look out for that. So possible trend break, guys. Now look for the trend break. Look for support 927. That is what you want to be watching. Let this thing start popping and let it ride, okay? Because I mean, there were tons of shorts down here, okay? I'm sure lots of people were shorting this thing on the way down. Remember, Chart Hackers got that short at the top. I mean, if you got that, it's nice, but we got it at the top there off that VWAP. So if you want to learn how to short, guys, come to Chart Hackers. We're doing all of that stuff for you guys. And Huddy says dump is coming. Guys, remember, if you think the dump is coming, you look for shorts when it's green, okay? It's as simple as that. And the new FTX balance sheet just dropped. They now claim to hold what? 27 Taylor Swift concert tickets valued at $3.9 billion. Fucking hell, I love that. Okay, so guys, if you're trading CAS, 927, that is your support that you want to watch for now. That's your degen support level that you can play with. Other than that, it's the lows that you are watching. Okay, so keep it super simple there on CAS. And then Look on Chain says a whale sold $4 million of Fartcoin. Okay, he actually took a loss. He says his average buying price was 1.09. He lost 2.2. Okay, let's just take a look at Fartcoin. Where's it? Ooh, fuck, he is a long way down. He bought it at 1.09. Okay, but in terms of that, I wanted to give you guys an entry. I actually thought we were going to get a fart long here on the show. So now we've missed it. We've missed the bounce. So what I was waiting for was 4742. You can see we have now reversed for Fartcoin here on the oscillator. Look at that 1 hour, printed the reversal, looking nice and bullish now, and we could get some kind of pumpage now out of Fartcoin. The problem is, if you are long now, we've missed the golden entry, unfortunately, because I've been blabbering on. So we've missed 10% already. We've missed a 10% bounce on Fartcoin. So if you are trading this thing, it's got to be super low leverage. It's got to be small position, big move. That has really got to be the policy with AI agents like this, Fartcoin, AI16Z, all these things. So the best support I can give you is the lows, 4840. And let's look at a couple of targets here. Let's go from the highs to the lows. We just bang out a couple of fibs, and you can see quite a nice target here. If you do get a pump this high, you're looking at 6285. 6285 is what you're going to be looking at. That's going to be your upside target. Look, I suspect you get a rejection there. If we do start firing, look for that. Out of that, 6285 is what I'd watch. So 1 hour looks decent, and use your low as your support. Okay, so just play safe here, guys. Oh, it's a big stop. Just understand your risk, okay? 10% on 5x leverage is a 50% hiding if it drops that low. So be super, super careful. This is why we are greedy with our entries, especially on AI agents. PM George says, big position, high leverage, noted. Bro, please don't do that to yourself. Okay, what do you want to do here? Long the top, short the bottom, high leverage. What is he telling? Maruk says 25x low leverage. Maruk, you got to be careful here, guys. If you want to trade these things, it's 5x, okay? Keep it really low leverage here, small margin, and look for a big move. Can someone tell Bitfunded crew to list AI shitcoins? Good point. Very good point there. Okay, so Fartcoin is waking up, guys. Unfortunately, you are putting yourself at risk if you are looking to jump in, because the big support here is this 48 zone. So just be careful, please. Okay, now I wanted to talk about these absolute shit coins because it's important. Okay, Murad. Remember Murad, the meme guru who was calling everything, and Popcat was at fucking $2 and everyone felt so wealthy and everything, and he's still around. Okay, even though the memes are totally fucked, he's still around. He says cult meme coins is the category that will create the most wealth this cycle. So he's shown you total money flow goes into Bitcoin. We know that. Goes into altcoins. He says massive upcoming unlocks, overvalued vaporware in most cases. Money flows into meme coins. He's saying you either go cult meme coins, where you buy and hold, die-hard holders, 10 to 20 communities, community builders, emotional stickiness, real believers, or on the left, you buy all that dog shit that we spoke about yesterday, the 400,000 meme coins launched on Sol in the last couple of days. So that is effectively what happens. Now, in terms of some of these, I think Pepe is a fair call as to, you know, his cult meme coins. I think Pepe, if you look at it, it stood the test of time. WIF is totally fucked. Myro, totally fucked. Those things have all completely fallen down. Popcat, our son, is wrecked, okay? But in terms of something that has staying power, it's got to be this Peppy. Look how well this is held relative to some of the others. I mean, this looks absolutely disgusting, the way this thing has fallen over. I mean, this is... it's not nice, okay, 71%. But things like Whiff did way worse. Okay, so Peppy, guys, I'm still super bullish on Peppy. Okay, any weakness here, looking to buy. I've made the assumption that the low's in at 771, so looking to grow that size. Now let's talk about this absolute piece of shit, Whiff. And this thing has fallen off the face of the earth. Look at this, all the way down, 88%. Okay, small little dip there, and that is under pressure. So in terms of areas that are interesting for me on Whiff, and I dropped this on Twitter earlier today, it's got to be the zone down from 42 down to 30. Okay, it's absolutely disgusting, but it is an area of interest here. So if we do ever eventually get there, I suspect we do get the mother of all bounces here out of this Whiff. So anybody who hasn't seen Whiff in a while, here it is. I would say you'll get 150% snapback bounce out of this thing at some point. And what you're going to watch is you're going to wait for this major weekly level. So you can see all the weekly candles here. When you dip into that, and it might surprise you because it might happen in a month, it might happen tomorrow, it might happen in 6 months, it might never happen. But in terms of areas of interest for me for a massive bounce, anything from 40 to 30, massive area here for Whiff. Okay, JB, what's going on there, bro? What's going on there? Are you filling your bag there, bro? Okay, let's go. What's the next one? I just wanted to show you this. Now, I don't have conviction on Myro, but in terms of what has happened to this thing and in terms of levels, okay, Myro is literally going to zero. If it loses these levels, it feels like it's going to go to zero. Look at that, 96% down from the highs in March 24. So that was about a year ago. And right now it's moved into the last ditch attempt when it obviously got launched on Mexi. Look at this. There's our weekly levels here for Myro. We are in snapback bounce territory. Anything from, say, 16 down to about 10 looks like quite a big area here for me on Myro. So if you get that, I think even in terms of spot, I don't think you can go that wrong. Like at some point, there's going to be a mega bounce on that. Hassan, no, bro. I had $150,000 Brett long. On that dump we had the other day, it was putting me under so much pressure, I had to start cutting it. I just couldn't hold that thing anymore. It was too big. It was putting my account under pressure. And luckily, I did cut it, bro. Otherwise, it would have got super ugly. Mr. Ding Mo, AR is so close from the next short squeeze. Guys, I think a lot of these tokens are close to a squeeze to the upside. So Myro, guys, there it is. Okay, I'll drop this in chart hackers for you. It will be there. Massive area for us. And another thing, wait, we're still doing memes. And does this fall into, Murad's category? I mean, this is Goku. And is this one of his potentials, one of his cult meme coins? Is it cult enough, this Goku? Because this thing seems to hold the levels no matter what is going on in the market. This thing seems to respect these levels. Okay, so yeah, keep looking at this thing. When there's red, it looks like you buy these opportunities when it's red. Okay, seems to do pretty nicely. Okay, let's look at some other stuff. And I dropped this today on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at the Lord of Entry. And I dropped this Filecoin chart. And bounce here, or it's going to zero. Or another way you can look at it is this. You can say bounce now, or I cut it off. Okay, that's basically where we are now on Filecoin. Let's take...
You did it.
It's bounce now. It's bounce now. I cut it off. Okay, we keep it simple. We keep it super simple. Okay, so this looks, I don't want to say disgusting, but this really does look disgusting. Okay, and Filecoin is at the depths of hell, literally the depths of hell here, guys. I mean, you can't get lower than this. If it loses this level, I literally believe they are going to be paying us to hold their tokens. I don't know how. There's no other way you can do it. Like, they're going to zero. So for me, Filecoin 2.7. You've got to watch this level. This might be the snapback opportunity of the fucking lifetime, or it's going to zero. So in terms of potential bounces here for Filecoin, you can see your targets are going to be the 200-day MA, 30%, 50-day, 38%, 100-day, 50%. If it goes to those wicks, you're looking at about 78%. But this is literally in that area where you look at your spot bags, you look at this thing and you go, that, okay? You better bounce now, okay? It's that simple on what needs to happen on Filecoin, because it looks terrible at the moment. Now, anybody out there wants to try something different, if you leverage trading and things like that, maybe you just got smashed, maybe you got rinsed, okay, but maybe you're still feeling bullish, okay, what you can do, you can try Bitfunded. Okay, now Bitfunded is trading with other people's money. So basically, you get a demo account from them, and then you get 8%, then you get 5%, and then they give you a demo, then they give you real money account, and you keep 80 to 90% of the profits. Okay, so you can see in front of you, I've got 3 funded accounts now. I have run their challenges. Okay, I did the 10,000 challenge, passed that. I did the 5,000, passed that. I did the 25,000, and I passed that. The ultimate prize for me will be able to give you guys one of my funded accounts. Okay, so I'm working on that. I want to be able to do it as like a giveaway or a prize or something like that for you guys. But guys, if you want to try something different, okay, so you can try this Bitfunded. Go to the link in the show description. Everything is here under the show description for you. Click on more. You will find Bitfunded there for you guys, and give it a crack. Okay, see if it's something that works for you. It's going to cost you $79 for a base account, a $5,000 trading account. If you pass the challenge, you get $5,000 real money account. Okay, guys, that is a wrap. Pumping, the war's over. Pumping, guys, it's tricky out there. Okay, we had horrible CPI. We've had a Trump headline that the war's over. Is that sustainable? You need to decide if that's sustainable. What I would suggest is any major pumps into big areas, look for head shorts, look to take profit, the same old system. Okay, we don't want to get lost and too euphoric with everything. I think play it safe. 𝗲𝗏 is not easy for degens. It's not easy for degens at the moment. We're definitely not in easy mode where you just open longs and everything flies. We got to be super careful with how we are operating, but we can get it done. Okay, if you want to find out more, come join us in Hackers. Guys, yeah, be safe out there. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Later.